And welcome to a quick discussion of Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis. In anticipation of Sonic's 30th anniversary, and because it's April 1st, I thought it would be fun to play a little bit of one of the worst re-releases of Sonic 1. Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis was released for the Game Boy Advance in 2006, for the franchise's 15th anniversary. I'm pretty sure it also released on the same day as Sonic 06, so that was a great anniversary celebration, since both quickly became some of the worst reviewed games in the entire series at that point. This is basically Sonic 1, but less playable, because of a variety of reasons, including how zoomed in the screen is, commonly known as screen crunch, and also, there was a ton of slowdown. So, it's not a very playable version, it's probably one of the worst ways to experience Sonic 1, but it's still technically playable. Did not get the special stage ring. That's fine, because I'm not really the biggest fan, but I would have liked to have shown that off, actually. So this is basically a port of Sonic 1 to the Game Boy Advance, but it does have a few added features as well. So there's an original mode and an anniversary mode. Also, I guess the ability to clip through the ground somehow. So in anniversary mode, the only difference is you can now spin dash, like in Sonic 2 onwards. I honestly don't think it's that helpful because Sonic 1's level design doesn't really feel like it suits the spin dash very well. Basically, it kind of feels like rolling is sufficient in most cases, but having the spin dash as an option is cool. There's also a level select, which is good because you will probably need it, given how difficult this is. And there's also a sound test, which isn't great because the music quality in this version isn't ideal. This is a thing with a lot of Game Boy Advance ports, is that the music quality is worse, but this is definitely a really noteworthy example of a game that sounds pretty bad on Game Boy Advance. We're still in Green Hill Zone, and we're already at a very difficult section. So here, we have to either jump on that moving platform over spikes, or jump on the spring. Neither are good options, because we can barely see what we're doing. So if we use the spring, there's this enemy right here. Let's use this spring, though. In actual Sonic 1, that would not be as much of a problem because we'd actually be able to see around us. In this version, it's really difficult to know that that enemy is there. So already the zoomed in screen is proving to be a problem. This is an example of a place where spin dashing is actually nice to be able to break through that, but rolling works too. So yeah, it's like a combination of different elements that make this so unplayable. The zoomed-in screen is bad enough, but then add the slowdown on top of that, and then everything feels so much less responsive and less refined than it already was. This version itself is kind of mysterious because credits aren't really listed for who actually worked on this re-release. The credits only list the original staff. I think this was done by Sonic Team or Sega because no other studios are listed. But yeah, it's kind of a mystery. This was also only released in North America, hence the name Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, and not Sonic the Hedgehog Mega Drive, which was the Europe and Japan name for the Genesis, if I'm not mistaken. So this fight is actually really easy on this version. I think, I may be wrong here, but I think Eggman actually flies lower than on the Genesis version to make it easier to see him. But it also makes it easier because we can actually just bounce on his head, basically, and deal a ton of damage. So overall, that was actually not too bad. And with that, we're basically done with Green Hill Zone. But next up is when things start to get really interesting as we enter Marble Zone, which is kind of where, personally, Sonic 1 kind of falls apart a little bit anyway, and it doesn't get any better in this version. I feel like I've talked about Sonic 1 before on my channel, but in general, I'm not the biggest fan of this game because I feel like it doesn't balance platforming and fast movement very well, and that's something Sonic 3 especially does, is have a balance of being able to move quickly without having to stop and platform unless you want to, basically, making it a lot more fun and unique. This game kind of still feels like a traditional platformer where you happen to have a speedy character, but not necessarily that many sections to showcase Sonic's speed. This is actually one of the only Sonic games I've never finished. I've finished Sonic 2 and 3, but I've never really finished Sonic 1 without using like save states because of Labyrinth and Scrap Brain Act 3. Basically the underwater stages, and I can't imagine what those are like in this version. With the level select, you might have noticed I've only ever played up to Spring Yard in this version, so I don't know how bad Labyrinth really is, as I haven't played it myself, but I can only imagine it's pretty bad. So, while the development history of this game isn't terribly exciting, because there just really isn't much known about it, there is something else interesting about it, connected to future Sonic games. Shortly after this released, a prominent Sonic ROM hacker who worked on Sonic Megamix, by the username of Stealth, tried to make his own prototype of Sonic 1 running on a Game Boy Advance. And he succeeded. He managed to get it running, at least Green Hill Zone, running at a consistent frame rate, with much better audio quality, and even added features like a playable Tails and Knuckles. So yeah, that's pretty cool. It was never obviously completed, it's only a few levels, but he mainly wanted to prove it was possible, and yeah, that really goes to show how poorly done this particular port was. But that story does not end there. I'm amazed I actually managed to get through Marble Zone in only 2 minutes, to be honest. Normally it takes me a little bit longer. So, Stealth would eventually work on Sonic 1, but for iOS and Android. Basically, that is a widescreen version of Sonic 1, with some added features like a playable Tails, and is often considered one of the best versions of Sonic 1. Sadly, it's only available on mobile, unlike the similar ports of Sonic CD to consoles and PC. And yeah, I'm still kind of upset, even after all these years, that Sonic 1 and 2 are not on consoles in widescreen. Also, Stealth would go on to work on Sonic Mania, so yeah, kind of an interesting career path there, working on Sonic ROM hacks to eventually working on an actual Sonic game. Another prominent member of that community, Taxman, also worked on the mobile versions and Mania as well. the Sonic ROM hacking scene is really impressive, to be honest. They have little events, like one main event at around fall called the Sonic Hacking Contest, which is kind of a showcase of different modifications to existing Sonic games, and it's really fun getting to see what people come up with, including new level layouts and in a lot of the 3D games, swapping out different characters. So like you can play as like Silver the Hedgehog in Sonic Adventure 2 now, through mods, basically. So Sonic 1 itself is really popular because it's a fairly easy game to modify, I assume. So a lot of Sonic ROM hacks are based around Sonic 1, which is kind of a shame because I actually prefer like Sonic 2 and 3's physics, but I imagine they're a little bit tougher to work with. But on the subject of Sonic 1 again, it has actually been ported successfully to handhelds since this, in addition to the iOS and Android versions. There is also the DS version on the Sonic Classic Collection, along with Sonic 2, 3, and Knuckles. There's also the Sega Ages versions, which are, there was a 3DS release that had some new features, and then there's also a Switch version of the Sega Ages line that adds even more things, like the Drop Dash from Sonic Mania. So there are plenty of ways to play Sonic 1 portably now, which is great. I'm pretty sure this is one of the earliest examples of a portable Sonic 1, and it's not a great example at that. Nice that we're talking about that just as we hit a major patch of slowdown here. The Second Ages versions are more accurate than the mobile versions, I'd say, from what I've heard. Like, they're not widescreen, and their additions tend to be a little bit more minor, and not like, you know, adding in a level like Hidden Palace in Sonic 2. But Knuckles in Sonic 2 is in the Second Ages version, since that was originally in the lock-on version of Sonic 2 and Knuckles. So yeah, overall, I find this version very fascinating, both because of its poor quality, and also because of future developments technically connected to this game. And also I find it interesting just from the standpoint of it could have been done totally fine, and having it be proven makes it even more of a shame that it turned out this poorly. So yeah, Sonic's anniversaries tend to be very interesting because they tend to just release a lot of things and call them anniversary games if they coincide. So a lot of games released for Sonic's 15th anniversary, and all those games are turning 15 this year, which is kind of crazy to think about. Oddly enough, the best games to come out of Sonic's anniversary, or at least that anniversary, are all spin-offs. And even then, they're not, like, great, I'd say. Like, there's Sonic Riders, which I actually like. There's Sonic Rivals, which is kind of a mediocre racing game as well. Kind of an on-foot, side-scrolling racing game. 1v1. I've played Rivals 2, it's fine. Not great, though. But it's playable, I guess. And then, like, yeah, there's Sonic 06 and Sonic Genesis. So yeah, overall, that was not the best anniversary. Like, the previous anniversary was the 10th anniversary, which had Sonic Adventure 2, which was a lot better. And then the 15th anniversary had, or the 20th anniversary, I mean, had a really popular game that I'd like to go over eventually for a Let's Play. It is Sonic's 30th anniversary, and so far I've only played Sonic R for a Let's Play, and now I'm playing the worst version of Sonic 1, so I would like to get around to some other Sonic games that are actually, like, well-liked by the end of the year. And very soon I'd like to talk about the last 3D game I really feel strongly about. After that, I've thought about maybe going through some of the 2D games, especially like in this case, because I've never even finished Sonic 1 without, you know, save states and things like that. speaking of not being able to finish Sonic 1. So yeah, I would like to eventually play through more of them. I've only played Sonic 2 as a stream playthrough, so I might redo that playthrough as well at some point. I'd also love to play through Sonic 3 and Knuckles, because that's probably the best one. Even though I like Sonic 2 technically more, I can admit that Sonic 3 and Knuckles is way better as a game in general. And CD I'm not super fond of, but I think it's an okay enough game. But yeah, because I've basically gone through most of the 3D games I'd like to play for my channel, at some point I would like to start working through the 2D ones. And, you know, maybe eventually get to, like, Forces, or, like, Shadow the Hedgehog if I can, but that's not super likely because I'm not a big fan of those. I don't even own Lost World anymore, so that's kind of why I'm thinking of skipping ahead to, or skipping back to the 2D era. So yeah, that's kind of my Sonic plans. I don't know how much of this will actually happen during the anniversary year, but I would like to get through one final 3D Sonic game at the very least, and maybe some spin-offs. At some point, I would like to go through the Writers games, at least the first two, because I do stand by those being relatively fun. So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis is a pretty poor version of this game. If you have any other options, definitely go with those instead. Even simple jumps like that feel very scary because of how much the game is slowing down while jumping across. And yeah, there are definitely a lot of cases where you just have to kind of make a blind jump and hope for the best, which isn't really great. I forgot this was here. That worked out. So yeah, overall, there are plenty of options. Sonic 1 is probably one of the most re-released games ever at this point. Oh, this is a fun jump. Was not able to see that platform, or that enemy. So yeah. Definitely stick to a different version. There are plenty to choose from, even on handhelds. So yeah, I think that about covers my thoughts on this for now. So I think I'm going to call things here for now. So thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for another discussion.